what I'm going to do now is go over a couple basic mobility drills that will help you, and one strength drill that will help you with some of this stuff. Because again, knowing what to do is one thing, that's great, but if your body physically can't move that way, physically can't get into those positions, then that's what you got to fix first. And so some of the main ones that we noticed was the rotation of the hips, the internal and external rotation of the hips that you need to set a good wedge and get this triangle going. Okay, so a really good one for that is called a shin box switch. So what you're going to do is you're going to get set in this position here, and I got this called a shin box right here. All right, and then you guys go ahead and follow along with me. Let's do it. Right, we'll do a few reps here. All right, so you can use your arms behind you if you need to. As you get better, you'll be able to sit up nice and tall and not do this. But the idea is I'm going to pick up both of my knees to this position, and then I drop my knees over to the other side. And then I pick them up, and I drop them the other way. And again, like you're using your arms, it's a little bit more of a mobility drill, right? If you're really tight, and as you're doing this, like if you're having to do this, like this isn't really necessarily the best thing. Like, you know, use the arms behind you to be able to keep a nice tall posture as you're doing this, right? So, and again, as you get better, you'll be able to do it without that. But these are a real good one for a lot of jiu-jitsu specific movements, and they'll really help with that hip mobility you need for that controlling of the hips with the ashigurami there. So the next one is the ability to, the thoracic mobility, to puff the chest out. It's when you come in to look to set up the break and finish the break. And so a good one for that is going to be getting down into your Sphinx position. We got our elbows underneath our shoulders. All right, now there's a couple things that we're going to be able to do here. This one actually helps with that shoulder blade talk that I was talking about, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to do some shoulder blade pumps. We're going to let the shoulders come up towards the ears, and then we're going to push them down as far away from our ears as we can. And as I do that, I want to pull my chest through and puff my chest out. Then they come down, and then I drive them down, puffing the chest out. So it's that pushing the shoulder blades down the rib cage to drive yourself up. This is the exact same movement that you need to do to set your shoulder, or you know, to catch their toes really good in your armpit and start setting up that wedge, right? So now another good one is once you're in this position, do some head nods where you're just looking down, looking up, and again, keeping that chest puffed out, nice and tall. And then another good one is to start doing, looking over one shoulder, and then over the other shoulder. And think about looking up at the ceiling over the shoulder. Again, if you think about this, this is kind of the same movement with your head and your eyes that you're doing to finish your ankle lock, okay? So that mobility in your T-spine to be able to close up that space is really important. And then the last one is a bridge variation, because again, we talked about the importance of being able to bridge to finish as opposed to extend your legs, kind of like doing a deadlift to finish. But as you're doing that, the trick is you've got to keep control, right? So I got to keep my control here, keep things tight as I'm extending. That's a specific skill as opposed to just a standard bridge where I'm not having to squeeze and extend at the same time. So you can take your gi tops off and wrap them up relatively thick, and you put it between your legs. And then what you do, you get yourself set in your bridge position, so your feet are about hip width apart. You know, the heels are in pretty close to the butt. And then you lay down, and what you do is you squeeze your knees together, squeezing that gi. And then you keep squeezing your gi as you squeeze your butt cheeks and drive your heels into the ground. Think about getting long. I'm driving my knees away from my shoulders and holding at the top, and then coming back down nice and steady. And again, set your squeeze where you're squeezing your gi, and then you squeeze your butt cheeks, looking to drive those your knees away from your shoulders. Again, get to the top and hold, like squeezing your gi, squeezing your glutes, and then we come back down. And again, we'll do one more rep like this. So squeeze that gi nice and tight, and then squeeze the glutes and drive, looking for length between the shoulders and the knees. And you're squeezing the gi, squeezing the glutes, and we come back down. So for a lot of you guys, Probably felt that in like, some quads, some low back, maybe felt it in like your left ear and you don't know why. That's your body just trying to figure out how to do this movement. You want to be feeling it in the glutes, all right? You're definitely going to be feeling some in the inner thighs from the squeeze, but you should not be feeling a ton in the hamstrings, a ton in the quads, a ton in the low back. That's a sign of you producing this tension from the wrong areas, and that's going to affect how you're finishing your break on your straight ankle. So anyway, so those are 3 real simple, basic things. You guys can do those every day. You don't need anything because you already got a gi top. And so that's it on the mobility stuff. So we're going to